All right, so today's video, hi everyone,
Hi, everybody.
is about how to restart your nails. So this is what happens sometimes when we kind of don't care for the nails on a regular basis, and
I fell off the wagon.
yeah, and falling off the wagon happens. And then everything seems just so overwhelming to start again that we just don't start again. So I'm going to show you how to do it very easily and very quickly. So the point that I'm trying to make is that it is very important to look for progress and not really try to achieve perfection in one manicure. And I know the internet is filled with those type of pictures, you know, these shocking before and afters, but they are very difficult to achieve. And also sometimes they're achieved not in a very gentle way, and they make the nails look better. They're not necessarily better, if you know what I mean. They're just looking better, but not really healthier. So 80% of how your nails are looking is how you care for them, and 20% is the manicure. And this is a very harsh reality that when I realized that, it was kind of a little difficult for me to realize that, but that is the case. Anyway, so without further
Ado.
talking. So we're going to use very simple stuff. File, and these all come in our wonderful kit. 180, 240 grits, sponge file. That's not for the surface, but for the ends. I'll explain everything. Now, to nudge the skin back, you can use the little stick or you can use this little tool. Both are very good. And for the odd torn skin, we have these nippers. Because sometimes you need to nip something if it's tearing, if it's going to be tearing further. And we're going to use this beautiful salve after. And that's it, no? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, by the way, I think we're going to do these videos weekly, maybe, just for a while. Just for a little boost, no? Just for a little encouragement. Let's just call it this way,
Okay.
to keep them on track. But anyway, so you'll see how the nails are going to improve bit by bit. So the most important thing is, because if you are prone to picking and stuff, this irregular border is going to drive you crazy and it's going to make you pick. So what we're going to do is we're going to smooth the free edge.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not a picker, I am a chewer.
Sorry, chewer. But yeah.
The moment I have any free edge, I chew it off.
Yeah. So here's what I do. I'm going to just round off the corner a little bit and just follow the shape of the nail bed. I'm just going to get under that little corner just to smooth it. I'm not pushing and filing into it. It's just very gently nudging it, and that's it.
Yeah, this is a habit that has been very, very hard to break.
And these are, habits are habits. And
like quitting smoking was easier than this, by far.
But you know what? Replacing this habit with more better habit of taking care of your nails sometimes is easier, because just saying, oh, just don't do it, that's not very easy, right?
Regular maintenance, like once a week, is for me the way that I can kind of keep myself in line.
And
if not, no.
I've actually had over my career quite a few guys that this is what they do. They come once a week because otherwise they're just going to pick. So when people used to bite their nails, they just need weekly maintenance. And this can be done at home. So not necessarily, you don't have to obviously come to the salon. This is, this is a way of me teaching you how to do this at home. But I would do a very similar thing at the salon. Personally, I would use electric file, not for this part, but let's maybe concentrate on this first. Maybe in one of the future videos, I can show you how I do this. So now this smooth shape is going to feel much better. By the way, I get so many questions, people asking if filing back and forth, the camera is moving, is okay. It is absolutely okay.
You do not need to file in one direction.
No, you don't. So we have a new setup. We're filming this in our new office. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera arm on like a separate stand, just so it doesn't, when the table kind of moves a little bit. But anyway, this is a little off topic. So the filing part, the shaping part, is I recommend doing this weekly. So yeah, the shape doesn't have to be, at this point especially, perfect whatsoever. It just has to be smooth. So what I did here is just I got this little hard piece of skin, but this is going to be the next step. I don't want to kind of confuse everyone. With going back and forth between the steps. This is quite short, mister.
I think that one got trimmed yesterday. The good old tooth trim.
Yeah, he trimmed so hard he broke his tooth.
Stop.
Now, what I'm going to do is this. The little manicure stick. So I'm not going to use it this way because you can go way too far, and it's this. The point is not to really separate the skin, is to nudge the skin back, and the side part does a very good job. This way, and I get this question quite a bit. People are saying, "Well, what if the why I don't soak the skin before the manicure?" I prefer not to, because when the skin is soaked, you can push it too far. It's too soft. What I'm doing is I'm just gently nudging the skin back as far as it will naturally go. So this is absolutely not painful. I'm just doing this very gently. And if the skin doesn't move, then don't worry about it, leave it. So now this part has to be done extremely gently for him, because I don't know, for some reason, the thumbs tend to,
I get like
ridges, yeah.
This isn't to say that this is what causes it, however.
Could be, I
There's
don't
the
know.
potential.
Yeah.
By applying too much pressure along that part of the nail, it may be
Could be,
some
yeah.
dents.
All right, so if you are very new to this, then using these sticks is a fantastic idea, because you're not going to scratch your nails. The tool is also very good, it's just a slightly different angle. You're gonna go kind of at this angle. And with this tool, you can do it because it's not too sharp, so it's not going to scratch your nail, because some tools are very sharp. And when you go at this angle, you like slice your nail.
It's very easy to apply too much pressure.
With some other tools, yeah. And this is why I actually chose this tool, because it has a perfect sharpness. It's not too, it's sharp enough,
but not too sharp.
Not too sharp.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's next? Are we going to be removing cuticle? No, we're not going to be removing cuticle, because at this point, it doesn't really matter. Let's just start very slowly and simple. And the cuticle doesn't really have to be removed unless you are polishing the nail. So what is cuticle? I'm going to get you as close as possible here. So the cuticle is actually this white here thing that you see here.
It looks like a residue on the nail itself.
Yeah. So what happens is the cuticle is actually in between the skin fold and the nail. And as the nail is growing, the cuticle is basically just riding on the nail. So the cuticle is there, again, to keep the skin fold and the nail together. It's like a glue that holds both of them together. So once the cuticle passes the skin fold here, it's not necessary anymore. It's not a seal anymore. It's seal underneath. It seals underneath, but it does not seal anything here. So you can remove it. Again, the reason why I remove it, because if you put nail polish on these flakes, the polish is just going to come off. But we're not polishing the nails. The nails don't have to be perfect. They just have to be better. And we're looking, again, for improvement and not for perfection. So what bothers people very often is this hard skin. So what I'm going to do here is with this file, I'm just going to see how I do it. For myself, I would do it this way. Okay, like this and like this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth that hard skin a little bit. So I'm not removing dry skin. This is not to remove dry skin. Dry skin has to be addressed with proper care, because the last thing you want to do is to injure dry skin. This is the hard skin that we're trying to just smooth a little bit so there is less temptation to pick. So this is the part that I would do with the electric file, but obviously you guys don't have it, which is fine.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Yeah, you don't need it. If you care for your skin, you really don't need it. Because normally the clients that come, it's just the fact, to see me, they usually don't care for the skin around their nails. And they have a little bit more hard skin buildup. So what you can do is you can just run your finger against that skin and just feel for it. So it's still going to look dry, especially now because we just, filed, so there's dust and it just looks bad. But just feel for the skin. Does it feel smoother? If it does, you just keep going on to the next, right?
But you don't have to be super aggressive with it.
No.
Just a little bit. That's it.
So pull this back a little bit and just go. So that can be done probably once a week. But if you have a piece that really bothers you, then you can just go like this with the file. I do that sometimes. I mean, especially the thumbs, because we work with our hands. So the thumbs usually, they tend to get, the skin tends to get a little bit harder. But if you don't have any hard pieces, then don't do it. If you just have dry skin that's soft, then don't do this. You don't have to. This is not like, okay, this is a part of manicure that you just have to do because Anna did it. No. Again, just feel the skin. I can feel that it's catchy. Okay. Now it's smoother. The reason why I don't do this with a buffer is because with the buffer, you cannot be as precise. You're going to go over the nail, and then you can just thin out the nail, which we don't want to do that. This camera keeps moving a little bit. But at least the lighting is good.
Can't win them all.
Exactly. Progress, not perfection. So next time we're going to fix the camera, guys. Don't worry.
Absolutely.
If you're getting dizzy, I'm really sorry. I didn't expect that. All right. Okay, now on to the buffer. So the reason why I like to use, and it makes a huge difference when you use a sponge file on the free edge. And why? Even though the file is quite smooth, it's a pretty smooth grit, when you are filing, okay, so let's just look at it this way, okay? You have pretty sharp corners, even if you're filing with a quite, like I said, fine file. When you use a sponge, obviously this is very thick, but when you use the sponge file, you are hugging the nail and you are making it a little bit rounder. So you won't catch on the corners. It makes the nail feel so much better that way. Honestly, big difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just repeat everything that I have done with the hand file. Of course, the nails are quite short, so you know it's not as easy to do.
Especially the thumbs.
Yeah. This kind of further smooths the skin a little bit. I'm just going to spray the nails with alcohol. You can just probably even like rinse your hands, because that gives you a little bit better idea of how the skin is. Because right now we have a whole bunch of dust and everything else. I mean, washing your hands, I forgot to mention that before, is a must. So now I'm looking for a little pieces of skin that would be problematic, that would catch. So you see what I did? I just evened everything out. I'm not cutting the skin fold. Because once you start cutting the skin fold, that's not a solution for it.
That just creates a problem.
It gets, yeah, exactly. It looks better for one day and then it swells because the body recognizes that trauma, and then it builds more skin because it's trying to protect. Yeah, exactly. It's the body's response. So now this piece I'm going to grab. See here. This little piece. So make sure when you're trimming it, you are not really pressing down, because you're going to catch the skin and like cut yourself. So this is probably the most imperfect manicure that you have seen on YouTube. It's fine. There is a method to my madness, trust me, guys. So in order to make everything look better, I have a solution. No, but seriously, this is what makes the skin better. So the way I'm going to do this, I don't use it on the clients because you don't want to be touching, you know, this and doing this on multiple clients. But what I would do myself, I would just go with my thumb. If I want to deposit a little bit more product. Oh my God, the camera. Later on, when you are just maintaining, you don't have to use that much product to solve. But right now, I sprayed the nails with alcohol and everything else, so you can use a little bit more salve.
Salve.
Yeah, this is something that I don't use on clients, like I said, because it's just not very hygienic to be like dipping and redipping. So, but anytime you have like a hard piece of skin or something that bothers you, just apply some salve. Seriously, it does make a huge difference. And I really do recommend applying it after each hand wash. So now we're going to talk about the maintenance, or what you have to do in between the manicures, the care part, that is the 80%, right? So it's actually very, very simple. So after washing your hands with a gentle cleanser, I'm going to give you some examples in the description box. So gentle cleanser, because soaps really dry out the skin and then they make it worse. They are way too alkaline usually. So using a very gentle synthetic cleanser makes a huge difference, and I've had people comment on how even just making that change made a huge difference in the health of their skin. So I'm going to give you some examples in the description. You can even use a shampoo. Like really, if you don't want to buy anything, just use a gentle shampoo or even like a baby shampoo. So after each hand wash, you are going to just apply a smallest amount of urea-based lotion. And nothing, you don't have to use anything that is very high in urea. 5 and 10% is all you need. So very small amount. I'm going to use like this amount. This is all you need. So you just want to replenish all the lipids that you just washed off the skin. And then you're going to grab like this. Go like this. Okay.
Where's my lotion?
Hold on.
Thought we were doing my nails.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
This is it. This is all you have to do. And this soaks in very fast. This is not greasy. The lotion that you are going to use, it's usually a lotion, so it's not very heavy. Pick something that you will like using, and I mean, aim for using it after each hand wash and exactly progress. And the next week, and you know what? Take photos of your hands, because that's going to give you a very good indication if you're progressing or if you're not, but you will. With this, you definitely will. So I hope this video was kind of very simple and straightforward.
And helpful.
So if you are going to restart your nails, you know what, make a comment. It's going to keep you accountable. Make a comment. I'll read all the comments on this video and I'll give you encouragement, because you can do it. And don't look for perfection. Don't try to create, because this is super frustrating, trying to achieve perfection, especially if you're not a professional. But you can totally do this by yourself
from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not that I poo-poo on salons and stuff. Hey, that's what I kind of do for a living as well. It's just that this care that you're doing is going to give you the best results. The manicure that you will get at the salon, ideally, it's like the icing on a cake. The thing that's going to give you the best results, or the biggest difference really, is how you care for your nails in these simple steps. And if you are wearing nail polish, for example, or even you have acrylic on or gel on or something, you can still nudge the skin back, right? Because very often people, what happens is they let that skin stay stuck on the nail, and as the nail is growing, it's pulling the skin. Then they go to the salon, and the salon tries to make everything, look better. So, and they just push that skin back, and the skin is just sticking up. So what are you going to do? They just cut it. So not the best. I mean, it's going to initially make it look better, but it's going to make it look, be worse in the long run. But if you keep nudging the skin, and if you care for that skin with the salve and the lotion, then there's not going to be anything to cut. So that's awesome. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comment section. I'm gonna redo this video next week to show you what the results of the daily care are. Okay, this is wonderful. We just lost our light. Alrighty, so I guess that's the time to finish our video. So this is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Ciao.